Am I the asshole for not following my neighborhood's tradition? I, 25 female, have just moved into a neighborhood a couple weeks ago and, so far, has been very peaceful. From the neighbors that have came up to me, everyone has been very friendly and welcoming, which I really appreciate since I'm not from around the town. I have noticed that some neighbors have been having frequent parties the last couple of weeks, but I chalked it up to it being celebration since I know one neighbor's daughter just graduated high school, and July 4th is coming up. I have been to some of these parties to get to know the other neighbors better, and one person who really stands out to me is this one neighbor, Melinda. Not her actual name. At a neighbor's party she came up to me and introduced herself and we talked for a while. This is when I learned about the newest neighbor party. Apparently, the newest neighbor supposed to throw a grand party showing off their home and entertain the neighborhood as a whole thing. Melinda told me since I was the newest neighbor, it was my duty to. Thought Melinda was joking when she told me this, as it didn't make sense to me and I laughed. This seemed to have had made Melinda a little angry, as she said she was serious and it was a tradition in the neighborhood and that I had 2 weeks to host a party. This was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday was the day I was supposed to do this tradition, but I happily stayed in bed. Melinda and a couple neighbors came and rang on the doorbell. I decided to go outside today, and Melinda came up to me furious, saying that I didn't do the tradition and that I was being a bad neighbor. The thing is, however, I asked some other people about this tradition and they have heard some people do it, but mostly never really mentioned it to be a recurring thing that each new person in the neighborhood should do. I told Melinda that I wouldn't be throwing a party anytime soon as I didn't feel comfortable with the thought of people coming into my home, let alone me having to entertain them. Melinda got angry, saying that the neighborhood is like a big family and stormed off. I let it go, but the neighbors that were with Melinda at my house that night have been telling me I should have just did the party and that I'm leaving a bad impression. I think my reason is justified, but I'm not really sure, so am I the asshole? Thank you for all the comments and suggestions. I also see where I could have told Melinda that I wasn't comfortable, but from the 1 to 2 interactions I've had with her, it sounds like she wouldn't have cared regardless, but I don't want to assume. A lot of suggestions were very insightful and funny. After I posted this I went to sleep and decided to go out today. I didn't bump into Melinda or any of her friends, so I'm not sure about her. However, some neighbors have offered to help me continue to move in by bringing boxes in. One of these neighbors, John, not real name, has been living here for a while, and he told me he's not fond of Melinda, and from what he has seen, some neighbors just try to avoid her or put up with her for the sake of it. Someone messaged me asking how moving in was going and it has been going good, but hopefully my mattress comes in soon so I can stop sleeping on the couch. It's rough. If anything crazy happens or if Melinda comes up to me, I'll let you all know. But that's really it for now since it's only been a new day. Update. Melinda came up to me. I thought since she didn't bother me yesterday, today would be the same, but it wasn't. I got out of my car and I saw Melinda ringing my doorbell like crazy and knocking hard. I got out my car and asked her what she was doing, and she looked at me and she just looked angry and demanded an apology. I asked her an apology for what, and she's saying that I'm going around asking people about the tradition and if I feel so highly about it that I should just do it like everyone else says. I think she's crazy. I told her get off my property and to leave me alone. I just left her outside because I didn't want to deal with her. But I heard something fall outside and go to check a few minutes later and she kicked my plant. I guess we're in a war thing now, but who kicks plants out of rage? Update. 4th of July. Hello everyone. Happy 4th. Melinda is crazy and I'm calling it here and now. Since today is the 4th, everyone is having a big gathering in the street like a block party. I went to the store to get things for it such as hot dogs and burgers and some snacks for kids and adults because I couldn't cook anything personally. The party is still happening. I'm writing this from the bathroom. We had all of our stuff labeled so everyone knew who to thank. And the party was going good until I see Melinda at my area of the food and she's breaking some open. I would be fine with this if there wasn't already hot dogs and hamburgers from other neighbors already being cooked. But the fact she skipped over about 3 other people's stuff to open mine. I went to her and asked her what is she doing, and I guess she didn't expect me to see because she started going on a whole spew about me getting the wrong brand of hot dogs and stuff and how I need to think about the neighborhood. It was a named brand and everyone brought those types. Before I could even say anything, she walked off, and luckily a neighbor saw my stuff open and offered to take it and put it in her freezer until it's needed. And I'm in her house currently typing this. I feel like I'm in some weird TV show, like the comments have been saying. This personal vendetta stuff is weird and annoying, and it's over a home welcoming party. She's insane.
Am I the asshole for refusing to forgive my dad for breaking our deal? When I, 17 male, was 8, my parents bought me a piano and signed me up for lessons. I was super excited because I love music. Over time, I kind of became known as the piano guy at school. I play at school concerts, accompany the school jazz choir, and play once a week for the residents at a couple of retirement homes in our town. When I was 15, I started to talk about quitting lessons, and my parents quickly tried to guilt me out of it. I told them I wanted to try other things, and that between piano and studying, I didn't have much time left for other extracurriculars. My dad proposed a deal. If I kept playing and taking lessons until I reached level 10 RCM, Royal Conservatory of Music, and continued to keep my grades up at school, he would buy me a new car of my choice. I jumped at it and we shook hands on the deal. I should explain that my family is well off financially. I have a very privileged life, but I wouldn't say I've been spoiled. If I ever want a luxury item like a new phone or game console, I have to buy it myself with money I've saved from summer and after-school jobs. I should also explain that my dad's big on loopholes. When we compete, he always finds a way to win, and when I do, it doesn't count because of some loophole. It drives me nuts, but he thinks it's hilarious. Whenever I complain about him not playing fair, his answer is always the same. Life isn't fair. So because of our deal, I kept up with my lessons. I spent about 1-2 hours a day on piano while keeping my grades up. Last summer, I took my level 9 RCM exams and passed, fulfilling my part of the deal. 2 told my dad I'd chosen the BMW X5 plug-in hybrid SUV. A couple of months ago on my birthday, I came downstairs for breakfast and my dad told me there was a surprise waiting for me in the garage. I ran out and sitting in the middle of the floor was a 1/24 scale toy BMW X5. My dad burst out laughing and said, "A deal's a deal, so as promised, here is your brand new BMW." My heart absolutely broke. I asked if he was being serious, and he said I couldn't seriously have expected him to buy a 17-year-old a real brand new BMW, and that we could discuss getting me a reasonably priced used car. I said we had a deal and I fulfilled my end of it. He said he did too, since I never said that the car had to be full size and drivable. I said he wasn't being fair. His response, "Life isn't fair." Ever since this happened, I've been distant with my dad. I honestly feel like he betrayed my trust and that he deliberately made a fool out of me. He keeps bringing up the idea of a used car, but I told him I'm not interested, which I admit is kind of petty. I have enough money saved that I can buy a cheap used car myself, and I just feel like if I accept one from him now, it's like saying that breaking his promise didn't matter and that he didn't do anything wrong. Am I the asshole?
Please leave your comments down below to any of today's stories. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.